And here we are already, game number 1, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It's going to be our red Zerg player from Imaginary Gaming. It is going to be Targa. And Targa in this quarterfinals is facing off against the blue Zerg in the top right-hand corner. It is going to be Nerchio from Team Acer. Now, the Go4sc2 2 Cup on Sunday usually is pretty stacked, but I'm really happy about the current players in the quarterfinals. The players who actually made it were Yoda, Henfi, Saxri, Lilikanin, Targa, Nerchio, and Sol. And the other one is off my screen. Who was it again? It was a Zerg player. No, it was another Terran player. I'm sorry. I completely forgot. But the tournament is just so insanely stacked. The winner, of course, will win 100 euros. The runner-up will win 50 euros. So you have to make it to the finals if you want to win something. Otherwise, you're going home with nothing. But this game number 1 in a ZVZ. Anything can happen, of course. And let's see who's going to be able to go for the aggression first. But everything is looking standard so far. I've seen Targa go for quite a few temples, but I've seen Nerchio do the exact same thing. Did not get a lot of chances to cast both these players, but Nerchio playing it quite safe. So is Targa, both going for the spawning pool first. And of course, a 15 pool going to be very powerful against anything like a 10 pool or early pool build, just because you have more drones and better economy, and by the time that the Zerglings reach your base, you're going to have the exact same tech, so you're not going to get an advantage in that setup at all. But with the hatchery first, you're going to be open to very early pool timings, but you will be able to get a nice sync on your queen, so you don't have to pay so much attention to that. But the natural base is going to come down for Targa, also for Nerchio, of course, pretty much mirrored. Even the gas time is pretty much identical. Targa getting his a little bit fast, but we're talking about a difference of 2 or 3 seconds. That is not going to be anything in the current setup. So a pretty standard mirrored opening for both these players. Going to be able to go into Zerg speed very fast. Oh, what is that? Well, apparently they do know each other. Oh, was there a Spore Crawler gonna come down? That could be the case. And you do see it sometimes in CVZ matchups, that there is a Spore Crawler being built behind the mineral line, and if there is an Overlord hanging over your creep, you can burrow it underneath your Overlord, and you can bury it underneath the Overlord, and the Overlord will die whatsoever, because the Overlord is not fast enough to get rid of it soon enough. You do see some Zergling skirmish going on. Targa has managed to keep both of his Zerglings alive, but the moment that Zergling stops running, he's going to die off. But the Queen is there to be of great assistance right there once again. But let's see, it's still pretty equal. Zergling speed on the way for both these players. An extra Queen on the way for Nerchio, so you can go up to 3 Queens already. A little bit worried about a big Zergling attack, of course. But Nerchio has produced a few extra Zerglings. We're going to see the back and forth of these Zerglings quite a bit. Now, both these players also going to go for the Baling Nest. Now, Mutas is something that is pretty much out of the current meta. It's not being used at all because it's so incredibly easy to counter it. Even Roaches counter Mutas nowadays because you can get Roaches so much faster, and the Mutas don't have enough damage output to really deal with that efficiently. But we do now see Targa producing a lot of Zerglings. 18 Zerglings gonna be on the way, so he wants to get some aggression going. He has some Zerglings pulled up back at home. Well, he has already 2 Zerglings on the other side of the map, so he can turn them into Banelings. Of course, Banelings are a lot slower than Zerglings, so you want to get them ahead and preferably out of the vision of your Zerg opponent. But now all of the Zerglings will move to the other side of the map. This is being spotted by Nerchio for sure. So he has to produce his own Zerglings and Banelings. He has 7 Banelings on the way. That's a huge number of Banelings for sure. But Targa, well, he's going to arrive just before those Banelings are going to be done. But he only has a little bit of time. The Banelings of Targa getting some nice detonation inside that mineral line already. Killing off 3 of the workers. And that was another nice engagement for Targa. How many Banelings are left for these players? 2 Banelings are left for Nerchio in the defender's position. So this can go sour very quickly. Oh, that could be a game-ending detonation right there. But that was a pretty good hold for Nerchio. Work account is, well, he is down a little bit, but he has held off this attack. There's a lot of units being made by Targa that are not going to do a whole lot for him this game. And let's see how the transition will be, or if we are just going to see a Zergling bailing all in. But behind this Targa is already droning up. He's not going to go all out with these Zerglings. And the bailings of Nerchio pretty much make that impossible. Now Roach Warren will get started for both these players. Targa is getting his own back at home. One Zergling does try and go for the scout. He should have spotted that there is a Roach Warren right now. Oh, did he cancel it? Yeah, he did cancel it. And instead he's going to go for a lot of Zerglings. 14 more Zerglings on the way. He's mind gaming Targa quite significantly. One drone even being rallied with these Zerglings. That's kind of awkward right there. But he does survive for now. More and more Zerglings will be streaming through. Yeah, Targa is not going to get the scout off, and there's a lot of Zerglings going to come through. Targa is not producing any banings. Does he have any banings back at home? No, he does not. He doesn't even have a wall off. This can be insanely painful, but Targa really, Nerchio really needs to go for this attack right now, and he can do game-ending damage, but there are now 8 roaches on the way, so he's going to be on a timer right now. Queen getting caught out of position. 3 banelings on the way, but the banelings of Nerchio will kill it off pretty quickly. Queen and Spinecrawler being taken out pretty fast. Nice detonation for from Targa, but it's not going to be enough, it looks like. And let's see, the Zerglings will go hammering down on a lot of these drones. The Roach will be able to clean this up. And the Roach Warren, it was not rebuilt. He did get a Roach Warren inside his main base. So he does have that in case he wants to transition, but he could use those minerals a little bit earlier to start his third base quite a bit before his opponent Targa could. But now with these roaches already on the map, well, they were a little bit far forward. The Zerglings can still jump into that mineral line, pick off another queen, making sure that the injects are not gonna happen. And he's trying to go for a little bit of attacking on the drones, but he cannot engage those roaches quite a bit. Picking off drone after drone. 15 drones did already go down, but he is down in roach count quite significantly. Targa's 12 roaches out against the 7 of Nerchio. By the time that Targa would run across the map, the Zerglings would rampage his base, and Nerchio would have the exact same roach count. But killing off those queens is pretty painful. 2 queens still on the map for now for Targa. He just rebuilt them, so he can go for the injects anyway. But now Targa is looking to go for that counter attack. Let's see if he can get some damage done with it, but I don't think so. Defender's advantage, especially on top of the high ground, is going to be pretty powerful. Looking at the current roach count, 17 against 17. Roach speed for Targa is about to be done, so he has that going for him. Yeah, we do have the lair. Targa has that roach speed. It has not even been started for Nerchio, so he definitely has an advantage in that regard. But there's just vision everywhere for Nerchio, and Targa just forcing out units. He's droning back at home, so he doesn't want to go for a full-out attack. But there is going to be a queen caught out of position. Not the biggest of deals, but he's lacking 1 queen at the third base. He started mining from it quite a bit faster than Targa is mining from his, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. But it's still too close to tell. It's still pretty equal. The third base is not going to be up for Targa 2 in just a few moments, and he is going to equalize. Work account pretty much dead even. Army supply 7 difference. That's not going to be a game changer, because positioning will be way more important than those 7 army supply units. However, bigger difference is going to be the +1 attack upgrade and of course the roach speed. So with the upgrades currently, Targa is going to be ahead. But we do see Nerchio going to go for double upgrades, and usually you don't see a lot of players go for that because the armor upgrade does not matter a whole lot in Roach versus Roach battles. But if you get 2 armor upgrades over your opponent, you're going to be in a pretty nice position. So if you can get away with this for quite some time, you are going to be in golden position. Because if you go for the double upgrades, you're of course going to have less units but more powerful units. It does not matter a whole lot in the beginning, but give it a little bit and will be quite a bit better. And now Targa really is posturing very aggressively. Roach speed is now going to be done, and he is looking to hit a timing with his +2, it looks like. But by that time there is going to be +1 for Nerchio too, so he's not going to have an upgrade advantage of 2/0. A little bit of a counterattack, did not get a whole lot done. Killed off 3 workers, but that is all that she wrote. Did not even get the queen right there. So let's see. So many roaches. The roach battles are gonna be here. 46 against 47 roaches, pretty much dead even. We do see now that the baiting speed for Targa is going to be researched, because if Nerchio goes for Hydralisk, if they can get good detonations, it's going to be a pretty good fight for him, because those Hydralisks are pretty expensive. But if they get into contact with Bailings or Roaches, they are dying off. Like, you can just push them over and they just die right there. But going for Hydralisk is not something that you see before both players have maxed out. And now both players are reaching that max out point, so you can see some transitions coming down. Nerchio did in fact go for that Hydralisk then, but he also wants to trade away a few of those units. Look at their economy. Nerchio is a little bit ahead over his opponent, but it's not significant in any way. And these Banelings, they are looking to get damage done, to get some burst action going, but you usually want to see them used offensively instead of defensively, because with a little bit of stutter stepping you can still be in a pretty good position. But Nerchio is at 202 supply out of 200, and he is looking to get the damage done. But the concave is looking to be pretty big from Nerchio if he wants to go that route. More Banelings being morphed in, 13 more on the way. The Baneling count is insane. You can snipe hatcheries with this amount of Banelings if the roaches let you. He just needs to get into a good position, and I don't think that there's a way for Targa to just break Nerchio from this position. Behind this we do see Burrow and Tunneling Claws being researched, but Nerchio has a few of his own Banelings. Oh, those Banelings are going to get decent connection. All those roaches are clumped so much, and Targa does have the better initial engagement, but now the flank from the right hand side is going to be pretty good for Targa too, for Nerchio too, and he does manage to push it back. 23 roaches on the way for both these players. It looks like Targa will win this fight. A little bit of an overextension from Nerchio, but the roaches will be popping very soon, and of course defender's advantage. Your roach reinforcements will be here quite a bit faster than the roaches of Targa. But behind this, Targa has taken the liberty to get his high yield base going, while Nerchio is just getting a normal base towards his opponent a little bit, so he might use this as a staging ground. And of course, fighting in the middle of the map, it is going to be a pretty open map, and with Burrow you can regenerate the health from those roaches quite fast, and as long as your roaches don't die, you can heal them up pretty quickly. But both players, well, Targa is maxed out, Nerchio not so much, and Targa just wants to go for the engagement. He has more roaches currently, and the reinforcement of Nerchio is not here just yet. Is Targa just going to take this win right now? We do see Burrow and Tunneling Claws being ready. He's pulling away a lot of those roaches out of position already, and Targa is not going to press the issue just yet. Well, there is still a very nice supply advantage for Targa, but the Burrow is proving to be very powerful. Fourth base is up for both these players. Targa, of course, has that high yield base, so his income is quite a bit higher. And Targa wants to go for another engagement. He has the advantage. Oh, a lot of those roaches not fighting immediately coming in from the flank can be so incredibly game-changing. Also, the Spine Crawlers are here a little bit too late. He does push back Targa, because that fight is not as cost efficient as he wants it to be. And again, I really like how consistent he is, just burrowing those roaches, getting them all back into the green before anything can happen. Roaches were harassing a little bit at that high yield base. It was completely evacuated, which means that Nerchio will have a little bit of an advantage for a little bit until their base is up and mining again. But looking at the current upgrades, let's have the normal tab for it. It is currently 2-1 versus 2-1. Both roaches have the exact same strength, so it will be a numbers game and positioning game, but it's still a little bit scrappy. Those overlords are just everywhere. Target's pretty much perfect vision of everything that is going on, and he is constantly looking for holes to get some damage done. Overlord misrallied at the third base, a little bit painful of course, but it does happen. Also, 2 Banelings are getting ready at that natural base, but there are roaches in position, and they're looking to roll in immediately the moment that they finish up. And Nerchio has been harassing a little bit, but did allow him to max out once again. It's still Roach versus Roach, not a single... Oh, very nice detonation right there. 3 extra drones. But no Hydralisk have been made just yet. It's just Roach versus Roach. No money it has been available for Hydralisk just yet. But they can do so much damage from the back too. I'm sorry for any background noise. I don't know if you can hear it actually, but the slamming on the door is just my housemate leaving. But we're going to have another big engagement coming down. The Roaches are pretty much hugging each other. The upgrades are equal. Oh, no, there's actually an upgrade advantage for Targa, but once again, the +1 Carapace upgrade usually does not mean a whole lot. And of course, Targa has the advantage of the faster reinforcement. Roaches are on the production tab. And Nerchio is pushing forward. If he can take this base out, he is going to be in such a good position. But Nerchio finally taking at least a little bit of a supply advantage. But so many Overseers here that he cannot burrow those Roaches at all. And he is getting in position back at home. Burrowing those Roaches. A lot of those were pretty low on health. So he will regenerate that health. And a lot of drones were killed off at that 4th base, I feel like. Yeah, 27 workers were killed off. He did lose a few of them. But the worker count overall is still pretty equal. Both are harassing each other to the best of their abilities. Those Overseers are just going for a scout. They're not doing a whole lot. No upgrades on the way. Finally, we do see Targa, who's going to try to transition into a few of those Hydralisks. Getting 9 of them is a very nice number. Because if you get too many Hydralisks, you don't have enough tanking abilities to go for any straight up engagement. But Targa wanted to move down that ramp. I'm not quite sure if that's the best decision. He already has quite a few Hydralisks in this army. 10 of them already. A few more are going to be on the way. This is not the location where Nerchio wants to fight. He's going for it anyway. On the bottom of that ramp, he does get a bigger concave though. A lot of those Roaches from Targa are not fighting, and that's exactly why the positioning is so important. He does have to pull away now once that army of Targa moves down towards the real low ground. But at the same time, look at that, the high yield base is going to go down, and Nerchio has taken a very significant advantage because the economy of Targa has been stifled quite a bit. Looking at the top right corner, we do see 1600 minerals for Nerchio every minute and around 1000 for Targa, which is a huge difference. That is like a 50% difference right there. So he is going to be able to remax a lot easier. He of course has the extra production. And behind us, he's even getting his high yield base up. So Targa really wants to get some counter damage done. A few of those overlords will get picked off. But in a straight up engagement, still positioning is going to be key. And especially with those Hydralisks. If the Hydralisks are nicely in the back of the army, they are going to get so many kills. And keeping them alive, just like Mutalisk in a ZVT, you're going to be in a great position. But another set of drones going to be transferred. Oh, the Roaches are just going to go for that 3rd base. And the Hydralisk and Roach will be able to take out this high yield. That's going to be very nice. But this could turn into a base trade scenario. Nerchio is at the base of Targa right now. He did not see it coming well, he did see it with the Overlord. But his 3rd base is even going to go down right now. Targa is retreating back home. He sent a few Roaches towards the main base to try and get a few extra dome kills. But Nerchio is fully committed right now. And he just wants to get a good position. Oh, a few Hydralisks out of position. They fall so insanely easy. And now Nerchio is pretty much maxed out. Targa is also very high in supply, but not 100% maxed out. But he does come in for the flank. And this is going to be a very good fight for Targa for sure. But it will come down to the remax. A lot of economic damage has already been done. And we do see that in the remax right now. 20 Roaches on the way for Nerchio, while there are only 7 on the way for Targa. And they are both not maxed out at all. But Nerchio still has quite a few money in the bank. He just needs those larvae. Missing a few injects can of course always happen. But those larvae are still very important in a Roach versus Roach match. With a 20 supply advantage for Nerchio. Still just sticking to Roach, burrowing to regenerate the health, just to make sure that those Roaches are on full health. No harassment coming down, just contaminates. That's going to slow down his injects quite a bit. And Larva is exactly what Nerchio needs at this point. So it can get pretty difficult. And once those Roaches of Nerchio are out of position, Targa tries to move forward. Not going to be able to cut it though. 3rd base is still alive. If that would have been sniped, it would have been just GG right there. So Targa is a little bit lucky with that, but at least the 4th base for Nerchio was still alive the whole game for him. Roach once again going for some harassment, but not getting too much done. And Nerchio is maxed out. This is the moment that he wants to get some damage on. A few Hydralisks caught out of position. That is a very expensive loss for Targa. Looking at the resources lost tab, it is pretty much dead even. It's just that the economy for Nerchio has just been better all game. He has taken most of the better fights. Should not push up that ramp, especially not with half of his army. But if he has his entire army here, there's just going to be more stuff for Nerchio. Now, Targa is ready to intercept one of the sides, but there is going to be counter-attack, and a lot of drones will fall there too, and there is potential for a sandwich, of course. But will he be able to close it out for him? Nerchio is on creep, so he can move in a little bit faster now even too. He really wants to barrel down on this army, and the economy for Nerchio is just so insanely good. Targa's economy is dropping slowly as his third base, as his natural just get lower and lower. He's mining off of a one base economy. Nerchio is attempting to get his fifth base up and running once again, and I do believe that he's going to be able to do so. The only reason why he should not be able to do so is that he wants to end the game before that base even goes up. But Nerchio is going to get his own Hydralisk den up right now, and he's going to be able to get some more expensive units. He does have quite a bit of money in the bank, but Nerchio wants to move in. He's going to hug this entire army. He has to be careful. He sends a lot of roaches towards the main base. Without that part of the army, he cannot go for the engagement, but now Targa is just surrounded from all angles. He can attack into every direction and hit a roach of Nerchio, yes, but he's just going to get surrounded and his army is going to get killed off. He is dropping in supply below 80 right now, and he cannot remax. His third base was killed off already. And Targa will push this back, but he has no economy whatsoever. He has 40 minerals every minute from his natural base that is still rolling in from that one drone that was mining this. Now there's literally not going to be anything. So all that Targa can do is go on the counter attack. But there are roaches here, there are queens here, there is even spine crawls here to wait for them. Army supply is even in advantage for Nerchio right now. And he's getting his own +2 caravans that is just done before this fight happens. The changelings are trying to mess with the AI a little bit of Nerchio, but Nerchio will clean this up. And there's a GG. Nerchio taking game number 1 and taking the lead.